Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to The Lost. I am Stylosa, and it is time to go crazy with wild speculation. We have more leaks, guys, about the new hero, about Hammond, who must be the new hero at this point. Now, let's just do a little bit of a recap before we get into this video. You remember this stuff they put out onto the Play Overwatch Twitter, where they were saying, oh, something's actually gone missing in the ventilation system. A smaller animal is missing. What could this be? So the first conclusion that pretty much everybody came to, and including me, was, oh, this must be a monkey. Some sort of small monkey, maybe a chimpanzee or something like that, because we know there are gorillas on the moon, because that's where Winston comes from, and they had genetic experiments done to them. So it makes sense that they would take maybe a smaller ape up there, like so a chimpanzee or whatever, or a monkey, and do experiments on that. But the thing which kind of baffled me is they didn't really care that this monkey, or whatever the hell it was, this small animal, was missing for over a week in the ventilation system. So I started to think maybe this could be a cat. Maybe this could be Jetpack Cat. You know, like what Jeff went on about in an interview did with GameSpot a while ago, where they said Jetpack Cat was pretty much, yeah, it was too far out there, so they decided not to do that. So yeah, what is Hammond? Is Hammond the new hero? Well, we've got this leak, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. So this is on 4chan, and of course it's from an anonymous user, and it was posted on the 30th of May, so the day before all of this stuff hit the PTR. So the poster says, after the Blizzard post early today, I'm going to give you all more of an idea of what's coming without ruining too much of the surprise. The new hero and map will be coming to the PTR on the 6th of June. As the anniversary event ends. Good timing to keep people playing after the event. So that's not actually true, is it? That's wrong. I mean, that's just not right. So I think you can pretty much straight away take from this post, there are going to be some problems. Like, there is a section in this where he talks about the map being 2CP. I think based off the leaked image, well, it's not leaked, is it? But off the image from the Overwatch Twitter of the Horizon Lunar Colony, you could probably surmise it was a 2CP map. Well, you know the game needs a 2CP map, so it would be a good bet to actually say that, and then to also say, oh yeah, there'll be areas of the map with low gravity. But we'll get onto that in a second, because what I really want to look at here, and this is what interests me the most in this entire post, is the idea of the hero. This is what he says. Hero. The new hero is a chimpanzee with cybernetic enhancements. He is a support hero. His abilities include placing anchor points that connect to form a barrier and placing a stun beacon. The barrier drops after taking too much damage, but unless an anchor point is destroyed, it comes back up. Okay. So a support hero, I mean, you could pretty much guess that, right? Support hero, because we need a new support hero. We don't really have enough support heroes. We don't have enough healers. So for this hero, if it's what this guy says, it's not actually a healer, that again is a little bit strange to me. But if you go around the map, you can actually see, obviously the new map, the Horizon Lunar Colony, you can see this image from one of the security cameras. These two primates here are not gorillas. These look to me like chimpanzees. Now, we can zoom in on the smaller guy. Well, I guess he might be bigger, we don't know, but the guy's further away there, and you can see these are basically the same type of ape, right? Of primate, right? So what do they look like? Well, they look like this, don't they? That's a chimpanzee. And they do not look like gorillas at all. So these could actually be the new heroes or the new hero. I doubt we'll get two new heroes, but one of these is probably the hero. Possibly it's the one on the security camera, because he kind of looks smaller to me. He doesn't look as big, like his ears don't look as big as the one we can see on the low ground there, or I guess on the high ground behind him. So is that Hammond? And is Hammond the new hero? And is Hammond a cybernetic chimp? It's like, what? Ridiculous. But also we've got these images as well, which are from the same area of the map. These are two of the gorillas, and I think that's Ellie, and it's either Calvin or Dyson. I can't quite make out which one it is. It might be Dyson, because I can see the 1, and that could potentially be a 0 next to him, or maybe a 5. It's probably a 0, so it's probably Dyson, I think. But Ellie, we can see 26, and the reason why we know that's their names, because this was actually on the image of the map layout, which was put onto the Overwatch Twitter. So yeah, interesting stuff. But then do you remember this leak? This is a pretty old leak from somebody who claims to be a quality assurance tester from Austin. Now, I don't know whether this is that accurate. There were a lot of issues with this. However, look at what he says about Bria, because this was the guy who leaked the Bria and the Ivor, or Ivan, stuff. So if you look at this here, like it says, Bria is the smallest hero we will have released so far. Concept for her right now is of a blue-yellow steampunky teen with a wrist computer. So the smallest hero they've released so far with a wrist computer? But at some point they've possibly decided to change that from a girl into a small chimpanzee. So it fits in with the Horizon Lunar Colony story. That's a possibility. That is like, you know, things like that do change around. So maybe that is quite accurate. We also have this as well. So this is from the same poster on 4chan. And this is what he says about Bria. This is what interests me here. So it says, well, in fact, if you just look at this post here, you can see how it's incorrect in quite a few ways. So it said second quarter hero is Doomfist. Well, that wasn't correct at all. I think Doomfist is going to be the Blizzcon hero. I mean, it makes sense. You know, I've gone over this in loads of videos. Most likely it will be Blizzcon because it's, well, a major event for Blizzard, right? And they leave the best stuff till the major events. Bria, third quarter hero. So maybe what they've done is kind of swapped Doomfist and Bria around, I don't know, in terms of launches. But the concept, but entering initial testing soon. Area denial hero, think May with a rapid wall ability, designed to lock off certain areas of the map to assist her team. Can't lock off multiple routes at once. Ultimate electrifies everything between two of her wall bars. What interests me here is if we go back to what they're actually saying here about the new hero, possibly Hammond, the cybernetic chimp, it says his abilities include placing anchor points that connect to form a barrier and placing a stun beacon. Now, the stun beacon could be this electrified ability, this ultimate, which just electrifies everybody in place. That could possibly be an ultimate, like a big AoE stun, pretty much like May's Blizzard, I guess. But again, like look at this, 2 anchor points that form a barrier, which if we go back to this here, it looks the same, right? Or it kind of sounds the same, this idea of 2 points which form a wall, like a barrier sort of thing. So possibly Bria was the internal name for Hammond, and Hammond is the new cybernetic chimp hero who's like a mini engineer kind of guy. Very interesting. So then if we touch onto the leak about the map. So what he said about the map is the new map is based inside of the Horizon Lunar Colony. It's a 2CP map and you fight to secure the control room and an airlock. There are a few small areas where gravity is reduced. Now, like I said, you could kind of come to this conclusion anyway based off what we already knew before this post was made. So this doesn't really interest me that much. You know, you could have guessed it was 2CP because the game needs a 2CP map. You could say it was on the Horizon Lunar Colony because of the comment Jeff made about it's on the Horizon, and also the fact that this person would have seen the actual stuff about the Horizon Lunar Colony before he made this post anyway, and you could see that the airlock was highlighted on the map and all of that stuff. So I think this was fairly easy to do this, and saying that there's going to be low gravity in certain areas of the map, again, is kind of easy to say because inside the base you would say there'd be artificial gravity, outside there isn't. So I don't think that's particularly too amazing. This, though, does interest me. This is the animated short. Now, for a while, we've thought that it was going to be a May animated short, because if we go back to the original kind of leak for the Ankara stuff, which this might actually be the same person. I mean, we'll never be able to tell. But this does say there is going to be a new May cinematic, an origin story from May, and that's going to be next. But according to this, that's not actually the case now, because the animated short, a new animated short will be released to show off the new map and hero. It will take place on the colony and will be narrated during flashbacks by the new hero. It will show what happened on the colony and how Winston ended up on Earth. Now, I think we can, if that's true, that's fine, but I think it's going to be quite easy to work out what's going to actually be in this cinematic. You see, I could go away now and start making a leak and put it on 4chan and say, oh, right, this is the way the Winston, like, Horizon Lunar Colony cinematic is going to play out. The chimps, the apes, the primates, they obviously rebel. They somehow get the scientists to the airlock with a false alarm. So, well, they use a false alarm so the scientists go to the airlock. While they're there, they open the door and they kill everybody, but they don't manage to kill Dr. Winston, who then, because he loves our Winston, the ape Winston, somehow manages to get him to the spacesuit locker and puts Winston into his spacesuit before he gets murdered by the chimps or whatever happens to him. And then our Winston uses the spacesuit to get out, you know, of the base and maybe take a rocket back to Earth. And that's why Winston's got his Lunar Ops spacesuit on, because it's kind of it's his dad's suit, I guess, and he's kind of edited that and upgraded it and customized it and done whatever he's done to it to keep that so it fits him, because obviously Winston's massive, and gave him sort of jump packs and all kinds of stuff. That's probably what's going to happen. Now, obviously, they'll probably explain it a bit better than me. If that doesn't happen, then we'll have to see what goes on, because obviously I didn't include any of the new hero there, especially with like Hammond. Like, he must be some part of the story if he's this small chimpanzee, and in fact, if he is the hero. The one thing though which really does kind of confuse me with all of this stuff is when you look at what Overwatch needs and then you look at leaks, it kind of is easy to say, I think this is going to be the next style of map. Like I said with 2CP, it needs a new 2CP map, so a new assault map. So it's easy to kind of say that. But it does need a new healer. I mean, we've only really got Zen, Mercy, and Anna, and Lucio as kind of healers, right? But the variety is not really that great. Like, I don't like defense heroes, or well, even support heroes that don't really have heals, if that makes any sense, because it's hard for them to be effective. Like, if this hero is, as they say, it sounds more like a tank, to be honest, if it can put walls down and sort of block areas off and do stuff like that. We also have this as well, a few misc items. So a few new skins will be added to the normal loot pool, the best of which include astronaut suits. Alright, normal loot pool, that means they're not event specific stuff. Kind of makes sense with, if you look at Iconfall, when they released that map, they brought out the legendary skins for Reinhardt, and they were just permanent additions to the game. So maybe they're going to do this more in the future. When they bring out a new map, they bring out just new standard skins, which will be awesome. There'll be space-themed voice lines, and sprays will also be put into the normal loot pool. Tracer gets a cool Portal reference voice line. Custom games will now have a gravity setting. The May origin story has been pushed back for a more favoured hero. So, if the May origin story has been pushed back, this could potentially be from the same guy who made the May leak, which we've obviously covered in this video, so I don't want to cover it again. The idea of the game having gravity settings in custom games is also something you could kind of guess at, with it being a moon map and stuff like that, but maybe not. So maybe that does give it a bit of validity, because all of this came out before the developer update came out. Because remember, this was a day before the actual map came out, and on the PTR, and Jeff put all the stuff out on the YouTube channel for the dev updates and all of that stuff. Very interesting times, I think, ladies and gentlemen. They kind of look like leaks to me, but early leaks where things change, because game development is fluid. You don't just come up with a plan and then just go through. They change things as they go along. So I think maybe that Hammond was a small girl to begin with, and then they decided to change him into this sort of space chimpanzee inventor style guy. And if that's what we get, that's what we get. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. I love wild speculation, but this looks like wild speculation that's kind of rooted in reality a little bit. I really want to play a little chimpanzee. I think it'd be ridiculous. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Anyway, guys, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. You can subscribe to the channel if you love this stuff. Like the video if you love this stuff as well. And you can join the Discord, which is discord.gg/UnitLost. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Toodaloo.